The G20 summit closes as leaders agree on an extra $1 trillion for the IMF, the World Bank and other institutions. Welcome to the news on CCTV International. I'm Yang Yan in Beijing. British Prime Minister Gordon Brown has announced agreements made by leaders at the G20 summit. Brown says the G20 nations pledged $1.1 trillion to the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank and other multilateral financial organizations. $500 billion of that is newly pledged funding for the IMF to lend to countries affected by the financial crisis. $250 billion are for new special drawing rights of the IMF. $100 billion are for the multilateral development banks to lend to poor nations. And there is a $6 billion increase for IMF lending to the poorest countries. The G20 agree that emerging powers should have greater say in world economy, and they tighten financial regulations.
We remain firmly committed. Today, the largest countries of the world have agreed a global plan for recovery and reform. This involves the biggest interest rate cuts in history, the biggest fiscal stimulus we have ever seen, the biggest increase in resources in the history of our international institutions, with $250 billion, more money than ever before for trade finance as well. For the first time, we have a common approach round the world to cleaning up banks' balance sheets and restoring lending. We are engaging in a deep process of reform and restructuring of our international financial system for now and for the future, and we have maintained our commitment to help the world's poorest, and we have put more money aside for that and also for a green recovery.
CCTV's Ray Chenggang asked Gordon Brown about a Chinese proposal for a new global reserve currency.
Ray Chenggang of China Central Television. Mr. Prime Minister, you mentioned earlier at the beginning of your speech that the era of Washington consensus is over, but certainly the era of Washington currency is not. The Chinese central banker actually proposed a global international reserve currency. I was wondering if this was a topic at the discussion by the world leaders at the G20 summit, and what is your personal view on such a possibility? Should we worry about a depreciating dollar and a possibly depreciating euro? Thank you.
We are reviewing the future of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, and the role that international institutions will play in the future. And with the G20 finance ministers, I'm going to be leading a review that will report to the next meeting. But I have to say that issues about international currency have not led to detailed proposals from anyone. What I think people want to see is our international institutions able to come in and help when countries are in difficulty, and make sure that there is more confidence in the international financial system as a whole. So yes, we will look at every proposal that comes forward. Yes, we do not have detailed proposals on that, but I think people are looking for more from the international institutions, that they themselves can not only provide resources for the world economy, but they can instill confidence that there will be no more international financial failures in the future.